We have seen how Muric leader is trying to push the religious sentiments once again, is blaming the Christians that Adeleke University are suppressing the Muslims in his state. In fact, he's saying that the Muslims are not allowed to have their prayers, to observe all these their Islamic rites, that they are being forced to go to the chapel to pray. What's the reaction?
I think for some time now I've been trying to observe from different direction about this very man, the Muri man. Let me just use that word, the Muri man. When the Islamic, northern Islamic threats came and was trying to cause a very big damage within Islamic and Christian federals here in Yoruba land, of course, Southwest, and this thing has been happening over and over again, and we never see this man coming up one day to challenge the Sultan of Sokoto, or even to challenge, the Islamic clerics who are insisting on thoroughly Islamizing Southwest, and we have not seen him condemning, the Christian killing that American government has now made it very clearly that the jihadist that is going on in Nigeria is targeted at Christians, and of course it's one of the things that divided Nigeria in 1967, where the Muslim Nigeria fought the Biafran Christians. That was what they were. There's no a nationality without, especially in Nigeria, where we have a pure secular nation, a pure secular, where people have right to practice. You cannot take a Christian to a core Islamic school and they will tell you that they will be organizing chapel, they are organizing Muslim devotion, praying and shouting, doing fasting and prayer, conducting Christian service in a core Islamic institution, and it will stand. And then why is it that this man now, instead of concentrating on a possible threat to overrun the entire Southwest with threats of Islamic tendencies, we've never seen him do that. That means there's this suspicion that likely that he's also being used to continue to push or infiltrate. This is one of the people when you look at how the Sultan of Sokoto, the northern Islamic bloc, is insisting that Sharia and some other things must take place in Southwest, and of course the issue of Islamizing the entire Nigeria through conquest. We will not see this man come to take a significant stand on issues like that, especially when he knows that it has to do with Southwest, who in some states are insignificantly, Muslims to an extent, but we've not seen him. But why is he singling out a Christian institution? That's my reservation. Why are you looking at a Christian institution, a pure private school that has its own rules and regulations, that want to run their own school based on Christian faith? And anybody that is coming there, it has time to be corrected on this. Anybody that is coming there that want to have education, enjoy education in such institution, must understand that even if he is or she is a Muslim, must do his own thing without causing an uproar, without causing a difference, without causing a problem. These are things the person can take his lecture and go and do privately. Because what is it that the Northerners are actually insisting that it must happen, when we know that it will be very rugged for a core Islamic Northerner to go to a particular place where he conduct his Islamic this thing, and Christians will come in there and begin to do this. Go to core Islamic schools within and outside, go and there and preach. I said you are going to practice. It's not to see how some of the people are, even though we know that it's a government-owned institutions, how most of them were being killed in the north. Even those we know that investing is just for the public. It's a secular. That's why they say it's universal. It's investing. People can come in and do whatever they want to do at the end of the day. But you can see that even at that kind of environment, when somebody want to express a certain faith, he's being killed. So what is Muri trying to achieve on this? Is he trying to tell, why is it that always 24 hours, always we cannot see the Muslim Yorubas, standing up against this threat coming from the north, but choose to antagonize themselves within.
Well, when we're talking about schools, these are private institutions. Muric did not say anything when a state said that there would not be any Christian activity during this Ramadan period. There was a letter that was released into the public by the ISBA when they said that no any form of Christian house fellowship in Katsina. They even said that there shouldn't be any form of Christian worship practice or any Christian go to any school, whether you are a Muslim school or you're a Christian school. That means if you were a school that was built by missionaries in Katsina, during this period of Ramadan, you are expected to close down. We never saw Muri spoke against this. What is your take?
It tells you that the unbalanced opinions and reactions that comes from the likes of this Muri, when it comes to challenging certain tendencies that is not that is seen as a threat. Like you just said, when you see not this time around, not even an Islamic institution, this is a public, government owned, not private. Governor coming out to say that even in public schools, in universities, everybody should be shut down, and there shouldn't be Christian movement, and everybody have to toe the line of Ramadan. With that, if it is, you must abide by the rules of that, or else. But let me tell you, during Easter period, during the Lent, on the Christmas and all of them, we still see somewhere, somehow in the southern part of Nigeria, where people are allowed, the other religions are allowed, like the Muslims are allowed to do whatever. Most of them are even doing that video now. Nobody is challenging them. Where did you get this thing from? Yes, I can see them. They do condemn everything now. Nobody is challenging them. Nobody is going there to say, okay, they are trying to mimic. Because if they can misinterpret it, they are trying to mimic, our Islamic way of or Christian way of worship and all that. But if you see this kind of thing happening within a secular, I stand to be corrected anytime, any day. Nigeria is not an Islamic nation. Nigeria is not a Christian nation. Nigeria is a secular society.
Can you prove that? Because Nigeria belongs to IOC.
No, you see, a group of people might decide to champion that. I think it started from the days of Abiola, IBB, and some of them like that. Trying to see how they can, enshrine, put it in from the back door. But it was not. Then it moved to the states. That's why you say, Zamfara, if you do this, they'll cut your hand. If you do this, if they push that, it turned to what have led to Nigerian Biafra war, like I explained, the Nigerian Muslim versus Christian Biafrans. Nigerian Muslims. I'm not saying about northern Muslims.
When you mean Nigerian Muslims, does this include the Yoruba Muslims?
Of course. You don't know what happened? I should tell you about the story. I'm up to now. Though most of them has transformed from being Yoruba Muslim to Arab Yorubas. Because they behave, they have gotten that, they have been able to absorb some of the tendencies of conquest from the Fulanis, and they are trying to, you see, when they are telling you that, we are coming, see, politically and otherwise, they keep on practicing, that direction, and with some time, they feel that they are brothers, but they're not, in the truth, they are not brothers. The common, the core Muslim, northern Muslim, does not believe in a Yoruba style of Islamic worship, but they are still the same thing. But they will say that maybe their own sect is different. But what we're saying is that, if that kind of a thing happens in the north, where Christian schools were being shut down, and Christians are not allowed to go to school because of Muslims are observing one ritual or the other, then what happens to south? That is predominantly Christians when they are celebrating their visit. They don't do such thing. I like Awole Sowore perspective in that angle, but I didn't see this Muric man coming out openly to say no, this is not correct, this is not what Nigeria represents, because most of them are still struggling to see how they will finally put Nigeria under the core umbrella of OIC. But that will not happen. The only reason why it has not happened, not because of the Yorubas, but because of the Igbo. I've seen similar remarks coming from the Sultan of Sokoto. I've seen similar remarks coming from Tafawa Balewa. I've seen similar remarks coming from some notable or popular Islamic clerics in the north, saying that the barrier, the only thing they're having is that the Igbo is standing, and they know that there's a red light somewhere they cannot cross. But look at it now. What is actually happening? They are using political strategy now to make sure that they first stamp their presence in some of the states in the eastern part of the country. They are also doing that by using some people that will tag now as Arab Yoruba to make sure that they cannot take a situation where the Sultan is going to say that it is a must, that he has already set up a committee that will implement Sharia in Southwest. That is a no-go for a lot of people. Then if you are continuing doing that, so you are gradually threatening, and that's why when the US Congress became and published that report, it entirely unsettled the North. It entirely, brought Aso to the knees, to the extent, they keep on questioning themselves. And I can see now, I can tell you, because of that now, there is a problem between Shetima, the vice president, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu currently now. That is uneasy, calm. There's deep reservation. There's war of mind. There's war of body language. Between Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Shetima now, because Shetima was planted there to carry out most of these things. Within the system, or understanding very well that the man there too is a Muslim ticket. And some of these things need to, you see, the way they push this thing to an extent. But somebody somehow is already standing in between because they don't know how to carry it. I can tell you categorically clear now that we are having about 3 vice presidents under this administration.
3 vice presidents?
Yes. Under this administration.
The only official vice president is
currently, I'm telling you that currently now, the role of Shetima, that ran on joint ticket with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is being not too friendly at this point in time, because it looks like Wike and Sheyi Tinubu, is taking the influence. Wike, you don't understand what I'm talking about? How for some time now have you seen Shetima, in some functions now? Are you not suspecting something? Are you not suspecting that there's some uneasy fight? There's a kind of fight, psychological war going on between Shetima and Tinubu currently now. Are you not seeing it? And the most of the thing, why is it that we have not seen the vice president, Shetima, making some moves recently? Why? Are you not suspecting something? So the people who are seen to be occupying that very space now is Sheyi, Tinubu, and of course Wike. Yes, on Wike. They are the de facto vice president currently now running Nigeria. Well, so I think it is becoming very clear that towards that direction of trying to disobey the agreement of carrying out full Islamization concept. The president said, I'm going to continue from where Buhari stopped. And under Buhari, we have so many Fulani-related policies that actually backfire. And of course, most of them were shut down by the late Pa Ayo Adebanjo More blessing to the late I Advando. I celebrate you.
Can we please listen to the words of this northern man who has left confinement of the northern hemisphere, migrated to the south, confessing that there is no reasonable northerner that will not support the agitation and struggle of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There are northern elites who he exposed how they have been using religion and of course bigotry to make them dislike Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He exposed everything. He said that the only thing Nnamdi Kanu is postulating for every region is progress. Not reverse, not backwardness, but progress. He said emphatically that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cry has always been against misrule. These are politicians, the looters of our common patrimony. I watched this guy and I shed tears that it is unbelievable for me to see another man who will come out. In fact, he is a Fulani man who has migrated to Lagos, now hustling because of his exposure. And this is why it is good for people to travel. Let us listen to his words together and ensure you do not miss 1 second of his testimony.
Me, I support Biafra so that no woman dey in one place.
Come again.
I support Biafra in 100.
How did you know about Biafra? Who told you about Biafra?
Okay, I was born 1981. I'm not a small pikin. I crossed 45 to 44 now. I'm not a small pikin. I don't suffer for this country. So what I see with my eye, you make me I dey cry. But I thank God, human being know they feed me, now God they feed me. Anytime I wake, I will beg the God and I will feed. To the day I will go back to him. But we have no leaders in this country.
Then how come?
I support Biafra in 100 times. Let me all man go so that we, the Hausa, will remain. More we see me all man, they assist in all people.
Okay, you are an Hausa man.
Yeah, confirm. I'm from Kebbi State, Bagudo local government.
So why?
I'm Mohammed Abubakar. I'm from Bagudo local government. I'm from Kebbi State, Bagudo local government. But what makes me annoyed with Nigeria government is this: we don't have good leaders. We just they talk like we Muslim Hausa. We dey carry God for mind, but we know they use the God what we dey carry for our mind. We dey call the God God. Not be all of us dey use am. Na aboki spoil this country. Why? Be say anywhere where you go, before you go see any other language they beg, you must see aboki they beg in this country. Why it be so? Where we say we now we get food, now we they invest food, now we they invest our but when now we they suffer past many people, why you used to be like that?
Okay, how do you feel now? I say Aboki don dey for power for a very long time. Una don rule this country well. You know, una know why you go tell me say una still dey hungry?
Oga,
And this Fulani dey disturb una well. Una just keep quiet.
Fulani dey disturb now with Hausa dem drum mouth. If the leaders of the state dem no agree, Fulani will no enter your state. Who born Fulani? Who give Fulani leg? If your leaders of your state, governor or anyone no have hands, they will no enter. You don't ever hear say them call Lagos Fulani can do something. Whether them go east, whether them go south of east, you don't hear them. Now only Arewa. But part of the Arewa na some state, no be all state. Like my state, Kebbi State, we don't have that problem with Fulani. But like Kasuna, Zamfara, Sokoto, Ohe, all those people, now they get that wahala. We don't have any wahala with anybody.
Why Nigeria be like this now? Where they complain saying?
Why Nigeria be like this? We say we don't have good leaders. Even the man is ruling now. Now Hausa they rule am. Now wetin dem tell am to do?
Who be the person where they rule now?
Na Tinubu now, but now person dey ahead of the Tinubu. That is the northern people. na dem dey rule dis
country.
country.
Name them when they do spoil this country
Like
like this.
IBB, like dem Buhari. Forget say person dey call God. God know him people. Forget, if you are not belong to them, dem no put you for that seat. If you know their society, you can't belong to that seat.
Okay, now you talk about this Biafra, that you believe on Biafra, that
I
Biafra
believe I support una 100 by 100.
do you think what President Buhari, Tinubu is doing now by holding this Mazen and Kano after IBB don't confess, say there's nothing like Igbo sponsor the coup? Do you think it's right to Mazen and Kano?
Me, what I think, Oga, and the IBB way in dey talk, in na dem follow spoil this country. Wetin dem wan talk now, and im no bad eye, but God still dey show am upon the money wey im dey, im still dey see wetin im dey see.